Hello everyone, welcome back to the International Security course. Today we will continue with Chapter 7, Energy Security. In this chapter we will first talk about the concept of energy security, then international institutions and managing the energy security, an overview of international issues through global and regional regimes, and lastly, threats to energy security. Let's start with the concept of energy security. It can be said that energy has an important role in shaping the concept of security in socio-economic and political fields. That is to say, states have been in constant struggle and conflict on resources that show wealth and power in the historical process. These conflicts over resources and the implausible use of resources are the leading causes of increasing security threats and risks in recent years in the political, economic, geographic, and environmental dimensions that cross borders. In the Cold War era, a security-oriented approach to government-based military power was effectively used by international relations scholars, especially by the realist school. The analysis of the realist school, however, were re-evaluated by several international theories such as Marxism, liberalism, constructivism, and the Copenhagen School. These theories have treated security from a relatively global perspective and taken into account recent threats and risks such as world oil shocks, environmental disasters, nuclear disasters, global warming, hunger, poverty, immigration, excessive population growth, terrorism, and organized crime in their approach to international relations. Security, which is derived from the Latin word securus, is a state of lack of anxiety, risk, or concern. Incidents of insecurity include the exposure to violence, deprivation, and poverty. The concept of risk may be defined as the severity of a possible incident, the threat to the resources, or the potential loss of personnel. The concept of threat consists of events or phenomena that have the potential negative consequences for the existence of values of a state, society, or individual. Let's move on to international institutions and managing the energy security. Energy security has been a hot topic of discussion in global capitals and amongst many influential international organizations for at least a decade. However, despite these extensive discussions, there doesn't seem to be a consensus for a common understanding of energy security. Let's review some of the international institutions that help manage the energy security. The Group of Seven, also known as G7, is a forum of the world's seven most industrialized economies. The G7's major role is to discuss and resolve global problems. The seven nations represent approximately 50% of the global economy. The G7 has been particularly vocal about the need to prevent the overall global economy from entering a recession. G20 started out in 1999 as a meeting of finance ministers and central bank governors. In 2008, amidst the global financial crisis, it evolved into what is today a major forum for dialogue and decision-making attended by world leaders from vital economies. Together, the G20 members represent 85% of the global GDP, two-thirds of the world's population, and 75% of international trade. The World Energy Council is the oldest energy-related global organization and principal impartial network of leaders and practitioners promoting an affordable, stable, and environmentally sensitive energy system for the greatest benefit of all. Formed in 1923, the Council is the UN-accredited global energy body representing the entire energy spectrum with more than 3,000 member organizations located in over 90 countries and drawn from governments, private and state corporations, academia, NGOs, and energy-related stakeholders. There are also other institutions such as the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, the International Energy Agency, the International Energy Forum, the International Renewable Energy Agency, the Energy Community, the International Energy Charter, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, the International Atomic Energy Agency, the United Nations Economic Commission for Europe, and so on and so forth. We should look into an overview of energy issues through global and regional regimes. The electricity sector was the biggest buyer in the global energy investment, reflecting the ongoing electrification of the world economy and supported by strong investment and renewable power in the networks. The falling costs continue to affect investment trends, prices, and fuel competition in various parts of the energy sector. China conquered 1/5 of the global energy sum and continued to be the biggest target of energy inventory. In addition, the US strengthened its position as the second largest investor in the oil and natural gas sector thanks to sharp rebound in gas-fired plants and electricity networks. Clean energy supply investment in the energy sector is rapidly increasing. In 2017, clean energy sources in production investments account for over 70%. This rate is less than 50% compared to 10 years ago, but it is driven by coal-fired power. Efforts to expand energy networks are also increasing due to more energy efficiency. The lower share of capital in the intensive thermal production has generally decreased over time. Electric batteries are expanding into the energy sector, but their impact will depend on cost trends that are largely affected by investments outside the energy sector. The investment in lithium mining has increased almost 10 times since 2012, and the investment in battery production capacity has increased more than 5 times. Lastly, let's talk about threats to energy security. Energy is one of the most pressing needs of the modern and heavily industrialized world. Although there are many definitions of energy, it is not possible to communicate the importance of this concept in a few sentences. Because energy is directly related to multidimensional concept of power, power has many dimensions such as economic power, military power, and political power. The issue of energy security emerged during and shortly after the oil crisis in the 1970s. Since then, the concept of energy security has begun to gain more and more importance. In fact, the 1980 Carter Doctrine has underlined the importance of oil for both national economic welfare and the global economy. Therefore, the doctrine paved the way for justifying the use of force toward ensuring the availability and security of energy resources. Energy has become not only a strategic issue, but also it has had a direct effect on the economic, security, military, and environmental issues. Energy security is becoming a truly strategic issue with numerous implications for international security. Even without the concerns arose by the current crisis, the political, economic, and security challenges surrounding the energy supply of many countries are profound. Europe's dependence on oil and gas imports is increasing, as are the energy needs of rising powers such as China and India. Moreover, the political instability haunts many energy-producing and transit states. So, dear friends, this is the end of our program for Chapter 7 of the International Security course. Goodbye, and I hope to see you in our next program, Chapter 8.